Hello everyone. I am outside on this sprinkling evening here in my garden, and I just wanted to do a quick little tour so that you guys can see how quickly everything is growing. So I will flip the camera around here so you can see everything. But for those of you who haven't been to my channel, my name's Brittany. I'm in Nebraska, Zone 6A, and our garden season is just kicking off. We still have about 125 days left of growing season, and things are going crazy. All right, so we will start up here in what I call garden bed 1. And this bed has a crazy amount of things in it. And the reason for that is because I had a beginner idea 2 years ago of putting these raspberries in my raised beds. Those will come out this fall and move to a different spot. But down below we have some garden green beans. And I do have a butternut squash down here. I'm not sure, actually it's a honey nut squash. I'm not sure if it's going to do much down there because it's not getting tons and tons of sunlight, just because of the green beans and because of the raspberries. So we'll see if it does anything. If not, I will plug one in somewhere else in the garden beds. Lots going on in here. Tons of onions. I think I have about 30 onions in this bed, if not more. I have 3 heads of purple cabbage. And then I have interplanted sweet alyssum and marigolds. The broccoli is just doing wonders here. With the heat that we've got, I might actually start harvesting this one. I might give a little bit more time. This one though, this is the biggest head that I've got so far. It's not huge, but I might give it a couple more days as long as the heat doesn't get too crazy. This one is budding up, and this one has just started to bud up. And then down here, hard to see, I dropped some carrot seeds in here, so I need to come back in and thin those out. And then there's a good look of one of my cabbage heads, and this one is just starting to firm up in the center. All of them are starting to head up, which is exciting. I do have another cabbage here and back there, but I'm not sure if we're gonna get enough sunlight to them, so we'll see. They were just some extra seedlings, and I thought, why not just give it a shot. This is bed 2, which has probably a crazy amount of produce in here, but we're gonna give it a shot and see what we can get out of here. I did originally have cauliflower all along the front, and then a second row here, interplanted with the onions, dill that reseeded on its own, which is there, and there. And then I did interplant the sweet alyssum and the marigolds to help deter the pests from my brassicas, which really did work out for me. But this is my last head of cauliflower. It just started to head up probably about 4 or 5 days ago, so the head's still very tiny in comparison to all the ones that I pulled out, but that's okay. Then in the row behind the last set of onions in this bed, we've got an edible flower, which is there, celery. These are celery heads. I do have some Brussels sprouts along the line here, some more celery, and then this row is edible, not those, not in that corner, but this row right here is edible flowers, which turns out the packet that I have is primarily radish. There was a couple carrots, a couple little seeds for dill, and then I think I've got some calendula going in there as well, so excited about that. These over here are ground cherries. That's my blackberry bush, still kind of going slow. And then I do have bell peppers here. And in between there, I do have some more radish. And then right here next to my irrigation line, there are a rainbow mix of carrots. And then I'll go to the front of this bed so that you can see how tall these tomatoes have gotten. They're probably about, I would say probably about 30 inches or so. These are Better Boy tomatoes. They're the first tomatoes that I put in. There are 4 in this bed, and they are interplanted with red onions. This is my first year where I've actually gotten onions to bulb up. And just for size, they're not super big yet. I'm hoping they get much bigger, but even if they don't, that's okay. Back here, I have some more radish. I have lettuce, black beans, bush black beans, and then I'm gonna come over here so you can see these. This is my red or purple kale, and then I have a green one and another purple there. The one thing about these tomatoes that I'm interested to see how they start to form fruit is some of the heads look like they're cat-faced, which if you don't know what that is, it's just misshaped fruit. They look a little interesting when they have fruit on them, but tons and tons of buds everywhere. So very excited about that. Hopefully we'll start seeing some green tomatoes in the near future. I'm gonna go to the back of this bed so I can show you what else is there. Okay, so I have peppers and black beans and lettuce, and I do have an eggplant there which I need to stake up. She's starting to get big. Her leaves are getting bigger there. That's the eggplant. And then I do have some zinnias planted down there. Those are the tiny little green things that are popping up next to that red Solo cup. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tomatoes kind of tightly together in this bed. This bed is all my hot peppers. So my hot peppers will hopefully do well here. I'm hoping they don't get too shaded out. I tried to leave some space. If they get too shaded out, I'll honestly probably pull this tomato plant here because I do have quite a few tomato plants. These here are habaneros, and so are these right here. And that one's definitely going to get shaded out, so I'll have to move that. I do have some more black beans here. These are ground cherries that are getting kind of out of hand. I've never planted them before, and they are large and in charge and probably kind of like a tomatilla. And I see the very first bud on there. So excited to see how those perform. And then I do have, these are all jalapenos that I grew from seed here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 jalapeno plants. They are planted very close together, but they help support each other. So this habanero, I do think I'm going to move either here or here so that it gets a little bit more sun, but we'll see. This is a calendula flower that reseeded on its own. There's this one as well that I moved. It was over here in the bed and it was getting shaded out really badly. So I moved it over here so that we could get some buds. As you can see, this plant has a ton of buds. I harvested some earlier today. There are 3 flowers there, 3 there, 3 there. Calendula is wonderful. It has great healing properties, and I plan to make some lotions or some salves with it to help with some of my kiddos' eczema. All right, I snuck in some cilantro here that I was hoping would be shaded by these tomatoes, which it looks like it's doing wonderful. I'm excited to come harvest some of this. I'll clean some of these out here. We don't want to shade it out too much. needs a tiny bit of sun, but the nice thing is we'll be able to harvest this a couple of times, hopefully before it bolts. And then here, this is bed 4. These are carrots, which I thinned, and then it looks like a few more seeds have popped up. So I will have to come back out here and re-thin those out. I have, y'all are gonna think I'm crazy, but I have 23 tomato plants in bed number 4, and they will also, all right, so my phone died, so we're back. Bed number 4. We've got quite a bit going on in here, along with our 23 tomato plants, all varying types of tomatoes. I have some paste, some slicers, some cherries, all in here. And then interplanted in between to help fix the nitrogen in the soil, I do have some green beans planted, but I also have a sunflower here. And my hope is that this sunflower, it's a mammoth sunflower, my hope is that it will get tall enough, potentially faster than this brandywine tomato, which I'm not sure if that is possible or not, but I'm hoping that this sunflower can help support this tomato plant. But if not, I will put a post in here and I will tie it up and we won't have any issues. But I've got 3 brandywine tomatoes here. And then I unfortunately did a terrible job of labeling when I put the tomatoes out. I was just excited to plant. So I don't know exactly what is what outside of the brandywine tomatoes because I know their shape of the leaves. I do have onions on the border here. And then I planted radish here, and I'll go around to the side so you guys can see better, but I did onions along this side and I did radish and lettuce seeds in here, but some of the seeds kind of washed up towards the end here. And then I do have more sunflowers here. I might have to sacrifice one of these. I had to replace this tomato here because the last one that was here actually got hit with some herbicide damage. I'll pop a picture in here so you can see what that looked like. These are all radish. I had a bunch of lettuce seeds that were planted here, but I'm only seeing a couple that have popped up. Maybe we'll have some surprises along the line, but all of those are radish. Down here, I don't remember planting these, but I probably did. It's likely basil. And then this looks like potentially like a tomato seedling, so I'm actually gonna pull that out. Definitely looks like a tomato seedling. We don't need any more tomatoes in this bed. So those are basil. Along here, I planted some zinnias, which several of them have popped up, so I'll probably have to thin those out a little bit just so they can get plenty of space to grow. Some lettuce. These are romaine, and then that's just some loose leaf. There's a romaine there and another one back there. I do have some dragon tongue beans in here as well. Some more tomatoes, all caged, or they have these tall little stakes, which honestly are probably not strong enough, but I do have all these cages in here kind of as a way to help pin everything up, and if I need to, I will put some wood stakes. My plan was to stake them and string them all up, but they're all just getting big too fast, and I need to remember next year when I plant that I need to stake when I plant so that I'm not behind the curve. There are some more zinnias down here. I have some leeks, some nasturtium, and the nasturtium look rough because we had some hail that came through last night. If you didn't know, nasturtium leaves and the flowers are edible. No flowers just yet, they're still kind of babies. This is one that I replanted yesterday as well because this one was hit with herbicide damage. that was here, and I pulled that out. And I may have to pull a couple more out. I'll show you some leaves. This is a butter crunch lettuce. Super excited about this. I love this type of lettuce. It's really dirty right now because of all the rain, but we've got some more leeks, I believe. Yep, this is an onion. You can tell the leeks are more like a bladed thin leaf, and the onions have kind of like a round, if you think of like a green onion. So that's kind of like what that leaf looks like. We have a dragon tongue bean. This is one of the tomatoes that are kind of questionable to me, that I think I'm probably going to pull this one and put a new one in as well. This was definitely hit with herbicide damage, or with herbicide drift. And I'm not entirely sure who put the herbicide down. I have a suspicion, but I'm not 100% certain. Some of the leaves look really good, and some of them just look a little bit more rough. But I have extra tomato plants, so I think I will probably pull this one and put another smaller one in, just to make sure we're not leaching that into our food. But here's a tall tale sign. All misshapen leaves. The new growth, though, looks good. So let me know what your thoughts are on this one. This one doesn't look so bad. The two that I pulled were really rough looking. The entire plant looked like these leaves, and I just knew they had to come out. This one also appears to have been hit, so this one may also come out. But again, these leaves up here, the new leaves, don't look bad. It's just the leaves that are lower. So let me know your thoughts, if we should pull them, or if I should pull them or not. These plants that are here, they were planted at the same time. They look wonderful. So maybe they're just not as sensitive, but I do find it odd that only some of the tomatoes in this bed were affected. So maybe it's just the type. And these that were down here were Cherokee tomatoes. I have a couple of them marked. This is Cherokee, and this is a black Krim. And as you can see, these leaves are definitely looking, the ones at the bottom are definitely looking a little interesting. So we may have to take care of those. Here's some more butter crunch lettuce, another one here. And then we've got some buds on some of these, which is exciting. This bud is looking dry, like it's been pollinated. Some of these are looking dry, like they've been pollinated. Oh yeah, I feel a fruit starting in that one, so that's exciting. I do have some more dragon tongue beans and some lettuce. So that's it for the back garden beds. I will take you over to the patio, where you can see I have a ton of stuff going on. It looks a little crazy right now because we had a storm that was coming through with potential high winds of up to 60 miles per hour. Thankfully, God willing, the wind was not as crazy for us, and we only got pea-sized hail, so nothing was damaged. But all of my green stalks have been taken apart because I was worried they were gonna fall over. So everything on the patio looks a bit crazy. There's pots everywhere, but I will take you over there. We'll walk together and I will show you what we have going on there. All right, so here's the back patio. Super excited about my little flags that I got today. And then I did get these little windmill things. The wind's not doing anything right now, but I'm excited about them because the squirrels, I don't have issues with bunnies, but the squirrels literally jump in my pots or my garden beds, and they dig up the flowers and they eat the roots, and then they leave my plants there to die. It's so frustrating. So I got those little windmills, and they were going like crazy earlier, so we will hopefully deter some squirrels from our back patio pots. So we'll start with the post pots that my dad helped me build, and then my husband helped me hang my pots on. I need to come back in and drill holes in these pots because I didn't think about doing that before I planted some of the things in here, and the soil is just staying too wet. It might be good if we were having a more hot summer, but we have had a very wet spring into summer so far, so everything in here is staying very, very wet. And you can just see signs of that with some of the plants that are in here, including the tomatoes. They're kind of cupping up, like, please stop giving me water. I don't know, I'm hoping that's the case and this isn't herbicide damage, because these are my black strawberry tomatoes that we just started getting fruit on. The leaves don't look misshapen, so I don't think it's herbicide damage. I do think it's just they're too wet. I'm hoping that's the case anyhow. We've got some lemon balm, which I harvested some. Some of it's looking a little burnt by the sun. I have these adorable little butterflies that are different colors that my mother-in-law got me. They're solar lights, so they're like, they change red, blue, green as soon as the sun goes down. I've got petunias in here. The salvia is looking a little upset that it's so wet. Petunias, lobelia, Dusty Miller. The Dusty Miller looks good, but I think it would prefer to have a little less water in the soil. This is a dinosaur kale, and I still cannot for the life of me remember what these are called. I think these also are a little annoyed with all of the moisture in here, but I just think they are the cutest little flower. Oops, I meant to zoom in. Look at how cute those are. Little dainty. This is basil. This basil really does not like this spot, but I keep trying to pick it in hopes that it will get bigger, but I do truly think it's because it's so wet. The salvia, again, I think it's too wet in this little pot here. I have all of my grow bags finally seeded and ready for the season. This one has some pumpkins. I have Long Island cheese pumpkins. That is a tiger melon. This pot here is long pumpkin pie. I might need to figure out some trellising systems because I know these are gonna go crazy and take over my patio. This is a cucumber. And then here you can see I just pulled some things out of this bed, like lettuce that was bolting, and I threw it in the bottom of here just to help mulch, some live mulch. I'll back up here. This is one of my green stalks that I'm kind of bummed about. I had it all put together. I had everything, all the tiers together, and then it fell over. So I had some pockets that were seeded, and when they fell over, they spilled into the grass here. So we'll see. We're gonna have some random things all mixed together, but that's okay. So I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna leave this as 2 tiers or put that third one back up here and then leave this as a 2 tier. Haven't decided yet fully, but these are all sweet peppers up here. Got California Wonder, some snack peppers. I was overly cautious last night because I knew the hail was coming, and I came and put cups over the top of all of these. Oh yep, we've got some little seeds coming up. These look like potentially like zinnias in here. That's because the soil just got scooped up and put right back in. So these are all sweet peppers, California Wonder. Some of them got mixed up, and I know I had a sweet banana pepper, so one of them could be that. And then down here, I'm gonna zoom in. This is a green zucchini. You can see one of the seeds is poking its head up. This is a yellow buttercup squash, and you can probably barely see it, but I see some green starting to poke up here. I've got some sweet basil. A bunch of seeds are popping up here, so we'll probably have to thin that out a little bit. This guy's not looking super great. This is one that I purchased at a local hardware store here. I pulled the green tomatoes off of it that were on here just because it just doesn't seem to be doing much, and it really may not do anything. It feels very hard and stiff, and I may have accidentally topped it, taking off some damaged leaves. So we'll see if it does anything, but it's a little Sicily tomato. It's a patio variety that only gets about 2 feet tall. Some more basil. And then this is an elite hybrid zucchini, which I can see some of the soil kind of peeking up. And the spiders, you probably can barely see that, but the spiders are loving my green stock here. This green stock, I planted a bunch of seeds in, and right now I don't see much of anything just yet, but there's some zinnias. I did plant some chives in here. I might regret that later, or I might love it, one or the other. I do see a tiny little zinnia popping up right here. That's a candy cane variety, foxglove, borage, and I believe I planted more zinnias there. Let's see, I've got some basil. This is a wildflower mix, but I believe that is a zinnia. I could be totally wrong on that, but that surely looks like a zinnia seed to me. And like I said, unfortunately, because the soil was just scooped up and thrown back in here, it could be a little bit of anything. I did plug another kale in here. It's a purple kale. And then back to this side, these are poppy seeds. Who knows if I'll actually get poppies. I know they take a long time and sometimes don't even flower the first year. These are bachelor buttons. And that's probably more zinnias because I couldn't find my parsley. Okay. This is the other layer of my green stock, or one of the layers, I should say. It's the last blue layer. This is all sweet peppers as well. And yeah, I'm probably going to stack this one back up here. I'm just a little nervous after it fell over. So we'll see what I decide to do. These are seedlings that didn't get planted, and I probably just need to trash them, throw them in the compost. Maybe they'll grow, maybe they won't. This has baby bear pumpkins, and they've been planted in here for a while, and I haven't seen anything come up yet, but I'm trying to be patient. What I have seen come up is lots of weeds. I know a lot of you out there are saying your compost has been littered with weeds, and it's driving me absolutely bonkers. But I guess we'll see if anything happens in this one or not, or if it's just gonna be a weed bag. And if it's a weed bag, then I will, ooh, I think I see something. I see some green there. I'll put some soil back over that. Sorry, I got really excited about that one. All right, these are some more seedlings. I need to get them over to my brother. Peppers, another grow bag of peppers. These are all sweet peppers. As you can tell, we really like peppers here. My strawberries are showing out. I've probably harvested a couple handfuls, and you can see we've got just oodles and oodles and oodles of strawberries. Every time I lift the leaves, I see more flowers blooming and more and more strawberries, which is super exciting because we love all the strawberries. All of these are flowers that are now turning into strawberries. I have onions interplanted throughout here. Sage, this is a purple Russian sage. There is another butter crunch lettuce, some rosemary. I have, that is a honey, ooh, I think it's a honey nut sweet pepper. Cucumber. If I remember right, these cucumbers are mini, like a bushel and a peck. type of cucumbers for pickling. I think they're Boston pickling actually, because I have bushel and a peck in a different place. There is some of my cilantro that has gone to seed. I'm kind of letting it go to seed, and if it drops and fills into this bed, cool. If not, the little beautiful flowers on it will attract pollinators into the garden to hopefully give our cucumbers some love when they start to bloom. And that is it for this bed. Down here, I have lantana that looks very sad. It looks like it needs a drink of water. They are very pouty when they get dry. The leaves droop, and I almost think I need to pot it up into something that has better soil. This is stevia. We love our stevia here. This is a cactus that my husband's cousin gave us a couple years ago, and it's just been in my kitchen by the kitchen window, and it has not really grown, and so I thought I'd try my hand at bringing it outside to see how it does. This is tarragon, and these here, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm gonna say that word right, so I'll just show you. Calabrachoa. You guys can tell me if I pronounced that wrong. I just thought they were the cutest little blossoms. And that is catnip for our kitties. They love catnip. This guy here is a cantaloupe, and again, I will have to find a way to trellis this up as well. Here we've got some sweet peppers, and we have some peppers that are going. Super excited about that. We've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 peppers on this one, and then on this guy we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 peppers on that one so far. We've got some basil, another pepper there, and a tiny little pepper here. It's probably not getting enough sun back there. All right, this is my green stalk that I have taken apart because I was so afraid it was gonna fall over, and everything in it is doing so well, so I didn't want anything to happen to it. So we've got a mixture of things here, and I'll stack it back up after this week's storms go by. We've got a mixture of things in here because this one did fall over. When I first got it, it did fall over, and unfortunately, the soil got mixed up as well. But our big plants that are in here, we'll start with those. I've got some strawberries. These ones have been kind of slow, but this is our first strawberry to form. This, I believe, is calendula. That seed looks like it just kind of, yeah, you're gonna see some seeds that were all mixed in here. We got some cilantro in here. This is nasturtium, marigolds. This is a sweet pepper. This is a mixture of a lot of things. It looks like we've got some radish, calendula. I need to thin this out. Dill, calendula, radish. There's a whole lot of things in that pocket. We need to thin that out for sure. Moving on to the next one here, we've got another sweet pepper, some strawberries, oregano, another sweet pepper. This is an eggplant. And initially I had cumin in this pocket. I don't know if my seeds were maybe bad, but they never did anything. Some more marigolds, nasturtium. Looks like a nasturtium made its way over to the next door pocket with the marigolds. We've got petunias and this little fun flower again that I can't remember the name of. Petunias. This is, I think, a cabbage head. Yeah, it surely looks like it. More petunias. All right, and then on to layer 4. We have some rosemary, marigolds, some strawberries, petunia, strawberries, and this is again that honey nut pepper. Here's another honey nut pepper, strawberries. Oh, we've got another strawberry here, and a couple going there, and some more blossoms. Looks like we got some more cilantro poking its head out here. There's some seeds down here and they kind of resemble catnip. I might move those out of there. This is another sweet pepper, strawberry, sweet pepper, marigolds that are looking a little rough. I need to deadhead those. All right, and then I'll zoom in here. These are some of my tomato seedlings that I still have ready to go. I have quite a few, and I think myself I will probably only plant maybe 6 to 8 more tomatoes. I could be wrong. Don't let me lie to you. I love tomatoes. But I have several varieties here. Some of them are likely not. These just probably need to be trashed. This is a Roma. That's not looking that great. I have other Romas that look better. This is an early girl. This is a vintage wine tomato, orange ox heart. This is a Roma. This is an early doll tomato. And then this is a pineapple tomato. Those ones in the back look like trash, so we won't talk about those. These are all of my extras that I'm hoping that I can gift to my brother and his girlfriend. So this tray has quite a few tomatoes on it. Some of them look a little crispy, and that's because I'm slowly acclimating them to outside. Today is day 7 of bringing them in and out. I left them out 2 nights ago and they did just fine. I brought them in last night because of the storm that we got. So I'm trying to watch the weather close because we're supposed to get some more rain, and I just don't want any hail damage to these because they're so tiny and delicate. But these are orange ox heart. As they get a little bit bigger, we can clean up some of these crispy leaves. No problem there. I've got some honeycomb hybrid, and these are like an orange cherry tomato. These are all Romas back here, which I love Romas, so I might find a place to plug a couple of those and then give the other ones to my brother and his girlfriend. And then these are vintage wine tomatoes, and they're super tiny. I think I need to pot them up so that they can get some things going here, because the vintage one that I have over here, this one, is so much bigger, and they were all started at the same time. This next set are early girls, and this one is black cherry tomatoes, and they are looking great. I want to put one of those in because we really enjoyed those last year. Okay, moving on. I've got some more sweet peppers, and these are just showing out. They are so tall. We've got, let's see how many are on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 peppers starting, and then we've got 2 blossoms up here. This guy's got 1 pepper here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blossoms. That is going well. We've got some lettuce in here, some basil, some more lettuce, and this is a dinosaur kale, and it's kind of going slow, but I think it will take off. It might have a little bit too much in here, but also this pot is another pot that is likely staying too wet, so we'll need to come in and clean those up a little bit. This is my Dusty Miller. I just absolutely love Dusty Miller. I think it's the coolest plant. It's so soft. This one here is a spaghetti squash, so again, I will need to find a way to trellis that up. This is kind of a, we'll see what we get. I'm not 100% sure how all of these things will do together in here. This is a shallower little tiered tray that my mom got me a couple years ago, and I tried strawberries in it, and the bare root strawberries, none of them came up. Very disappointing. But now I've got kind of a mixture of things in here. I don't know that these are tall enough really to do much for these peppers, but I just had a ton of peppers and I just thought, why not try it? So these are all sweet peppers in here. I believe they're the snack pepper variety. This is a different type of sweet pepper, and I can't remember what exactly, but it already has about 5 blossoms on it. There's another sweet pepper. We've got, this is a leek. Nope, That's an onion. That is an onion. Some petunias, some sweet potato vine. I love sweet potato vine. More petunias, onions, sweet potato vine, onion, onion. This is a crapshoot of leeks. This is just the little tray that I started the onions and leeks in. That's not really doing anything. These tomatoes unfortunately got hit with herbicide damage. I need to toss them. We'll start here with this bed, and I'm going to show you the clouds. We've got another storm potentially rolling in. Hopefully just rain. We will pray that in Jesus' name. It's just rain. This is some thyme. It's English thyme. I've already harvested quite a bit. You can see on this side. The more you harvest, the more you will get. So don't be afraid to harvest your herbs. We have a pepper plugged in here because unfortunately, as you can see, these are my snap peas and my snow peas, and I started them really early and they were just so slow, and they're just starting to bloom. And I'll show you on the back side in a second how some of them, oh, we've got one in the front here. That is so sweet. Look how tiny they are. But they're just starting to blossom, but the heat of the day is just wiping them out very quickly. So I'm a bit sad about that, but I do have plans. Once these come out, I will likely put some more cucumbers in here, at least one or two. But I have this pepper here. This is another sweet pepper. I've got leeks. These are leeks for sure right here. And this guy, the little tendrils, they reach out and grab onto things. They're natural climbers. And so they just blow around until they connect to something, and then they just tightly grip on and latch on to things. So I kind of had to push them to the chicken wire for them to get attached. But you can see if I do this, they will just start grabbing on. Oh, I feel the storm coming in. It's the temperature just did a quick shift and dropped. But quick, I will show you the rest of the patio garden before it starts to rain. These are some gourmet greens. It's just a mixed pack of greens. Yummy, delicious. We've got some more onions in this bed. These are weeds. Again, my compost is going crazy with the weeds, so that's fun. Some sweet alyssum, another pepper. I think this is a Brussels sprout, which is likely going to come out because it's not really doing anything. Onions. These are heads of romaine lettuce. I did harvest one of them and will likely need to harvest both of those before we go camping this weekend because it's supposed to be one of the hottest weekends we've had so far. So that's exciting for our hot weather crops, but for our cool weather crops, they're about ready to bolt like crazy. I have three grow bags with sweet potatoes. I've never grown sweet potatoes. I don't know if they will do well in a grow bag. This soil looks super dry, but I promise you, I feel the bag is wet. And it's supposed to rain, so they're just fine. These are Brussels sprouts. I will likely transplant and give some of them to my brother and his girlfriend. I have a cucumber here. This is, oh gosh, I can't remember if this is a pickling cucumber, if I remember right. Another sweet potato. You can see I've got some kale leaves in here just as some live mulch. This is sweet potatoes. They don't look like sweet potatoes because all you can see is the live mulch underneath, but sweet potatoes, and then some more kale as live mulch to help keep the soil wet. This is sugar pie pumpkins, pinto beans, and there's my pick a bushel cucumbers. So these are another pickling cucumber. Down here are some peppers and tomatoes I need to get to my brother. This is citronella. These are more of the ground cherries that I need to get to my brother. Some tomatoes, various tomatoes and peppers. This looks like it was hit with herbicide as well, so we'll probably lose those couple. Last bed here. Yeah, that one's spinning, the wind's picking up. Here is another black strawberry tomato. Again, the leaves are cupping up. Like, please stop putting water in my pot. It's going crazy, but it has started to blossom. What I will do is, once they get big enough, I will use tomato Velcro and I will loop it to the pole so that it just has something to help it be sturdy. Got some lettuce, got some darn weeds. Sorry if the wind is getting the speaker. Some more weeds. This is a curry plant. I'm very excited about this. The roots were that very typical curry color. They have yellow flowers when they start to blossom. Another one of these adorable little solar lights. Some more Dusty Miller, some flowers. I did take a couple things out of this one just to hopefully give that tomato some more space. I might have to move this guy over. And then last little things in this bed are just some zinnias that I popped in there. This is what I wanted to show you. All the little snap peas and snow peas that are finally starting to show up. At least we'll get a small harvest, and whatever we don't get, we will replant these in the fall and hopefully get a good flush before the frost, because these are very sensitive to frost. But I'm excited to see we finally have some pods. They're the best garden snack. Just eat them while you're out here. You can also take some of these off and eat them in stir fry. You can just eat the stem, the greens. They're really good. Thanks for coming along with me today. I really appreciate you hanging out with me in my garden. Things are going absolutely fabulous in the garden, even with the mishaps of my green stalks falling over. I'm just so thrilled with how everything is going. But as you can tell, the wind is picking up and the storm is coming in. So I'm gonna make my way inside and hang out with my kiddos before they get ready for bed. Thanks for coming along. If you like this video and you'd like to see more content, comment below, subscribe. I'd love to talk with each of you in the comments. God bless.